are live. What is up, everybody? I sent an invite out to my BFF and Trading Sharky. We'll see. Hey, by the way, do you guys like this shirt? This is new swag for Paper Gains. Kind of love it. Yo, what's up, Chaser, Paper Chaser Joy? Everybody's in the house, dude. I caught a banger of a short today. Holy camole! If you didn't, sorry. I told you China was a short. Told you. Yeah, yeah. We had PDD short over the weekend. Actually, quite frankly, I've been loading this short for a while, and your boy was in a nice little drawdown. But I added Friday. Here, you know what? I will show you. And yeah, I do have my trading view back right now. I don't know how long they'll keep it back, but this was PDD. This is PDD firmly in this earnings gap, and holy, she's still got room down to like 120, boys and girls. We'll see. I don't want to press it. Going short here is a bit of a stretch, but this was so I went from this top to this bottom, and the reason I was watching, and in our server, I had sent, hey, look, I actually started going short around here. I think in this area, like for longer dated contracts, all of this, and I knew, hey, this could pop up against me. Oh, my mic is way over here. This could pop up against me all the way up to 146 because this was our kind of like we call golden pocket from this, and then this was Thursday, kind of tagged it, and then Friday's open. This was the close of Thursday. Friday's open high was right here, and that's when we knew. I was like, you know what? Nope, this is it. We are going down. We are going down over the weekend. So it was like hammer, hammer, hammer. Yeah, and so this was the focus, really. That I got a couple others that I have live. Ooh, cannot see the screen share. You're right. Hello. So this was PDD. Sorry. Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me too. My mic was off. There you go. There you go. So yeah, so this was Pindodo. Sharky's in the house. I'll bring him up. He doesn't have his camera on, but this is what we're looking at. We've been short for a little bit, but this is the deal. We are in the gap. This is a fat, huge earnings gap. We do have room to the downside. I would be a little cautious adding net new though. I'm taking off today or trimming today. So it was this. So this big drop from here to here, 618, 65 kind of retracement. This is Thursday. Friday kind of bounced, and it bounced right into, let me just make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see this. It bounced right into, and it could not get above Thursday's low. And that's when I knew time to add, boys and girls, time to add. And I think if you had well, anyways, yeah, in the pre-market, we're losing that blue line is our 50-day simple moving average. And yeah, she looks good. She looks good right now. Let me just do a quick check. It's probably time to take some serious profits, though. I didn't want to be trimming this quickly, but, can't ever trust China. Oh, we are in the Shaw. Yeah. From this one to here, we're also in this pocket. So, I mean, I've trimmed pretty much everything from my February positions. I do have March positions open still for that 120 gap fill. We'll see. We shall see. I don't want to see her go way too far against me. But what a drop. What a drop. What a drop. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Anyways, told you China was a short. Got a couple other ones going live too. Look at this, Disney. We talked about this last week, chart of the week. We are live. I ended up going longer dated. They do have earnings. I believe this is going to be, so TradingView says it's the 7th of February. Let me just double check. February 7th here. So I ended up saying, screw it. I don't want to mess around really with Disney short dated contracts because it's so funky. The real breaks 96.53 on this guy. I made 125% on PDD this morning. Yeah, and I was late. Yeah, no, if you took the short dated look, there's Sharky. What's up, buddy? Good morning. Disney Trade is live. This one took a while to digest, but I think we're getting there. Earnings are not this week, but February 7th is next Wednesday. So I'm gonna let this roll. I have March contracts, so I'm let this ride for a bit. Look at this daily. This daily looks juiced. Daily looks juiced. The weekly. Good night.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. Hello.
The weekly on this Disney chart from last week's chart of the week, Disney looks even better. Let me tell you, the only thing that sucks is this earnings. So all this technical, schmectical, fundamentals is going to get in the way, and our technicals are going to go right out the window on February 7th when they report. So it doesn't matter how good this chart's going to look, that's going to get right in the way. So I will be trimming before they report for sure. But yeah, this one I did want to buy some time just to stop dealing with the intraday bouncing around. It was getting a little Mickey Mouse like, for lack of a better term. And I'll take one more look at Snow, which we have. Snowflake was Bean. Snowflake, I do like the bounce this morning. Have this nice little wedgie playing out. She looks better today. 220 is the target. 220 is the target. She's holding 202, 203, give or take. Look, it's a long, long week. And we are peak, literally peak everything. I got a couple more trades to go. Peak week. I got a couple more trades to go over, but I'll get into this. So peak week, peak everything. We are peak data. We are peak earnings. We are peak market, right? Except for IWM. IWM is not peak. So where do I want to be? Go look at your charts. Go look at your charts. Strength is in IWM still. Actually, it looks a little bit better than everybody else. Kind of crazy, or at least it was for a little bit. A lot of data to get through. But yeah, I think we have almost all. Do we have 6 of the 7? We have pretty much all the big mega caps reporting this week. And before I get into this, historically, statistically speaking, if you didn't know, when we have a week when all the mega caps are reporting together, that's like Facebook, Google, Amazon, Meta, you name it, and they start reporting all in the same week, statistically speaking, historically, we are flat to down on the week. So I'm not expecting a whole lot from SPY. So SPY or the Qs specifically, that's the only index I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the diamonds. I'm not talking about IWM. Those aren't in those indices. So SPY, the Qs, typically flat to down if you want to play the numbers. But that said, Sharky, do you got like an angel over your shoulder right now? Because there's like a little halo effect there. I love it. Look at that.
There's always someone looking over my shoulder.
Always someone looking over your shoulder. Right on. Okay, so I see some comments. What is the vertical volume indicator? Oh, that's just a volume profile, Jerry. What is Disney going? Is Disney going? I don't know. We can look at a couple of these. I'm going to pull these comments down for just a little bit. I think if I can get them. Yeah, and then you guys keep commenting, and then we'll pull them up later on. And good morning, Ryan. This is our student of the year 2023. We love you, bud. Huge growth in the server. Love these guys. So quick recap. So a couple things to know. If you're new to the show, what we like to do every Monday, we kind of take it as a business. Look at the market as a business. We trade for a living. Ideally, we like to make money. I mean, that's the plan. So not just gambling, not trying to take a bunch of shots, but we do look at some headlines, see what's going on in the market, and start to plan out the week. A couple focus trades and a couple longer term swings. and what we need to pay attention to, what is maybe important, and what's not so important, maybe some days to not trade or days to definitely focus on trading. So couple recaps for the week. um, really quick. So leading indicators, if you guys don't know, there's actually this thing called the leading index that comes out. It's actually like it's on the economic calendar. It's called the leading index. That thing is down 21 straight months. It's supposed to predict like the next 7 months out, but it's been given some like really bad signals for a while. But just as a side note, it's down again. And then I think, right now there's a lot of the oil headlines hitting the news. So ocean freight rates are jumping over 20% last week. So right now the freight stands at $3,750 per container, double from 1 month ago. And that's mostly due to like the Houthi attacks in Europe and Asia. And like shipping a container from China to LA alone is up about 35%. So I know our friend Jaguar, he's all up on the boats ETF. I think it's BOAT, but a lot of the shipping companies and even like your Exxon and things like that, they got a huge bid last week. So a lot of that is due to that stuff. So, and then we also got the beige book a couple weeks ago. And when we get the beige book, that's like the Fed governors kind of rolling up their forecast into the FOMC, which, by the way, is this week. So again, peak data. We get FOMC interest rate decision and conference this week. We also get NFP, non-farm payroll, your boy's favorite data point of the month, every month on Friday. But what we get on that beige book is we're looking for governors that are maybe flipping from dovish to hawkish or hawkish to dovish. So Brainerd used to be, I believe, is San Francisco governor for Fed president, typically dovish, but she says falling inflation could paint an upbeat U.S. outlook. And I think that was one of those comments that might have stood out. So an upbeat U.S. comment or a U.S. outlook, that's more like, okay, you want to look at something like that and be like, okay, is she saying that we could maybe hold rates steady for longer, or it's more of a hawkish comment, if that makes sense. So all the commentary and things like that, when you're listening to the presidents, you just want to think of what are they trying to say in terms of what do we need to do with rates moving forward. So if the outlook is good from an economic perspective, we don't need to lower rates. If it's a poor outlook perspective from an economic perspective, if it's a poor outlook, then okay, well then we can lower rates, and that would ease the economic conditions. Generally speaking, I think we saw, Sharky, we were talking about the 10-year or the TNX overall, like all last week, and we have a couple bond note auctions that did hit the tape as kind of unexpected market reactions last week that we'll talk about. But bond yields definitely jumped higher last week. And, two things. One, we had the 5-year note auction and the 7-year note auction that did not go well. And that, the 10-year rose on all of that, really. So the bond yields rose on bets, really, that the Fed's maybe not rushing to drop rates, which probably accurate, in retrospect. A couple other data points, housing sales jumped to a 5-month high. With interest rates coming down, maybe there's some pent up demand. We'll see. And then other things, White House announced it paused like liquid natural gas exports over climate concerns. I don't know, Boyle and nat gas looked like it was kind of bottoming, but maybe pausing projects over climate concerns would. I haven't even looked at NG or nat gas, but oh yeah, that looks like it took a huge dump over that headline. Ooh, brutal. That might be a buy. I don't know. But we're now massive producer. Now we're just, if we're not moving forward with some of these projects, then we're just going to have huge supply. And yeah, that price is going to go down right now. So if they open up those projects again, maybe the prices go back up. We'll see. And then we do have a OPEC meeting scheduled for February 1st, by the way. So a lot of stuff on the calendar this week. Definitely, definitely massive week. So again, here's the recap. So this is that 5-year note auction. If you guys look back on the charts, it was Wednesday week of the 5-year note. That was actually the peak of the market. The note auction came out. I think all the auctions have been pretty good, meaning like we've had interest in the T-bills and in the notes. And like, you know, when you look at this, it's like if there's interest, okay, cool. Well, then the rate doesn't go up, or maybe it comes down a little bit. They have to, if there's nobody trying to buy it, then they have to increase the interest rate so to entice buyers. And this is what we have, right? So the interest rate did go up 4% on the 5-year note and 4.1% on the 7-year note. So these two things, I mean, are keeping the market at least in a sideways price action at the moment. So we're kind of dealing with that right now. GDP growth rate. Oops. Let me see where we are. Sorry. GDP growth rate, pretty much Goldilocks, and PCE came in also in line. So 2% for the month over month on 2% consensus, 2.9% for the year for core against the 3% consensus, 2.6% for the headline against the 2.6 headline consensus, right in line. Sharky, did anything hit you that I didn't cover so far?
No, I think the only thing is, we're seeing more of that sell side program in the tech names. And I think that, over last week, and I think that probably makes sense coming into the gauntlet of tech earnings that we're about to run through.
Yeah.
But the moves in SPY particularly just have been a stronger index, although a little bit more choppy. But I think overall the daily looks better. The weekly candle on speaking in futures on ES or actually even in the ETFs on SPY and QQQ are markedly different candles that printed. I'm sure we can go into that. So I think that's also worth noting. But as far as the data, I think we've hit all the corners there.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of landmines out there, more or less. But at the end of the day, look, we're at all-time highs. So we've been able to navigate this, and as choppy as it's been, the market still made its way to all-time highs. It's been a choppy road, man. So I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. I will say, there are some markets right now that I'm looking at that I think are ripe and ready to run. I don't know that it's SPY. And sorry, I am losing my voice right now, but I do see some other markets that are ready to roll that would not necessarily be affected with some of this data that we have coming out. But so that said, on the calendar, so 2 big days this week. So Wednesday and Friday, those are the big days, right? So today, not so much. Obviously, a little bit of chop action. I think there's going to be a lot of anticipation coming into Wednesday and Friday. Doesn't mean that Wednesday is going to be the big day, as an aside, right? Obviously, it will be FOMC. There's a whole different way to trade an FOMC day on its own. And just remember, FOMC meeting is not until the afternoon. So coming into Wednesday, I don't think a lot of trades will necessarily be affected, but you will start to see some anticipation coming into that Wednesday meeting. So starting Tuesday, you'll see some anticipation movement across the indices. And then same thing for Friday. It may or may not be actually on Friday, but some anticipation into the Friday print. But it's not. Friday can be a big day. It's not always a big day. It is 100%, though, for anyone that does follow along around how we trade. I trade non-farm payroll. It is very much about how the market digests this Friday's price action. So the entire month of February will be defined by how the market digests this Friday's price action. So huge day for me and my crew on Friday. So just quickly before we get into earnings, here's a quick recap. We've got 14 of the Dow 30 components so far. Only one have actually missed. I believe the one that missed did pretty good. Let me just take a look. AXP. I think it had a good XP. Yeah. So they missed and the stock went up. So there's that. But they're American Express, the only one to actually miss expectations. Literally everybody else beat. So far, so good. This looks really good from an earnings front. Like really good so far. Pretty much one of the better ones that we've seen. On deck, man. Did you see SoFi this morning? Woo! What a move. What a move. I think we're cracking over 9 already, like quickly in the morning. That bad boy was strong. I know we got some guys very heavy into SoFi, but yeah, a lot of market manipulation, unfortunately, on SoFi. It's just what it is, just what happens. Excuse me. And we have some serious names, right? So obviously we have Microsoft. We have so for me, we have a couple that are on deck, right? Like UPS, GM. I have an entire system around trading earnings that we will have some earnings trades to trade in the server. Starbucks. But when we have Microsoft, Google, or Alphabet, we have, geez, well, where are the rest? Apple, Amazon, Facebook. Who else am I where's Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google. And that's pretty much that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 of the Mag 7. Who are we missing from the Mag 7? We already had NVIDIA, and we already had Tesla. So that's it. So this is the only Mag 7 to go, and they're all happening this week. So that's Tuesday after the close and Thursday after the close. So if you thought Wednesday and Friday were your only big days, think again. There you have it. Side note, man, I don't know. AMD is going to be a tough one for me. It's turned into a bit of a story stock. It's going to be really hard to day trade that free earnings. So I'll probably be looking at that one post since it is tomorrow after the close. But there's a lot of stuff going on about how NVIDIA is now cheaper than AMD from a PE perspective, especially since AMD doesn't have any actual AI products out there. So toughy. Starbucks still in the dumps. We'll see. SB, UX. Do you have anything you're looking at from an earnings perspective? That's a big week, man.
No, I don't really trade the earnings too much, so it doesn't really matter to me what they do.
Yeah,
I might do one lotto, but it's a gambling thing, so it's not.
Oh, yeah. No, we don't do the gamble stuff. We do. So what I'll tell you right now is that Apple and Microsoft, typically, you don't want to gamble on these. If you're going to do anything here, these two are premium crushers. Apple and Microsoft, not gonna pay you out if you're trying to go long or short on these two. These are sell premium moves 9 out of 10 times. Well, 8 out of 10 times on those two. Altria, same. But yeah, I mean, this is the biggest week, right? So overall, we're gonna have about like 250, maybe 300 companies reporting. But man, it's gonna be a busy week. But that said, I got a note from our friend Miss Cleo this morning, and she said she was sick, and I didn't think that we were gonna get our reading, but she did come through at the last second. So here we go. We're ready. All right, Sharky, here it is. This is
New reading.
The new reading for the week. And I don't know, I don't know that I've seen this one, and I have not read this. Just saying. I like doing it this way now. I've decided we'll look at the cards together, maybe take a wild a guess. Who knows? But this. So there's a naked lady in a wreath with some twirling bars up top. This looks like a farmer in a rice paddy. Some naked people down here, maybe praying for some help. What? Oh, lovers. What's a hierophant? Am I saying this right?
Hierophant.
What is that?
It's like a priest.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's meditating. So like some wusa, like calm down type of chillax moments. And then the moon, oh, that looks like the good and evil, like the white wolf and the black wolf, like fighting it out under the moon. And then this one is like that. That's like we're preparing to go to war again. All right, so let's see what she says. All right, so Miss Cleo. All right, so the theme card is called the World. It looks like we got major arcana. I don't never remember. And for this week, on this side of things, our card symbolizes completion and achievement. We've reached an important milestone, all-time high, right? And we should be thinking about long-term goals. It often represents a pause before the next step. As a theme card, it's pretty choppy and flat. I mean, okay, choppy and flat. As a daily, it's about the same. We do have the world at our back, healing us when needing to be healed and lifting us when needing to be given a friendly push. So probably not breaking any major levels. I don't see this as a negative, but it could suggest we're starting to build out a new top. Okay. So recap, Big Energy here says that we have a lot of work to do in order to stay afloat. Monday chop into Tuesday weakness. Wednesday and Thursday could be positive days, while Friday is a trap and mean reversion plays. So basically said chop, weakness, possibly green. Basically, she has no idea. Thursday, maybe a reversal. That's my take into the daily cards. So today, do we care about today? Today's pretty much over, but not to get too comfy. Be prepared for danger. I'm not selling real. We don't care what you're doing, Miss Cleo. You're not the trader. Anyways, Tuesday is the lovers. That's tomorrow. Which brings more energy to this big dance. This card does bring unity and peace, but there's a negative side to that in that this couple is so infatuated with each other that they tend to neglect everything else. These leaves us prone to weakness, so that we should be careful. Okay, so don't like come into the market with the bias. All right, that the day should be much less volatile than a normal day of impulse price action, but it does not predict a rally. Look to be flat at best, maybe slightly down. So back to what I was saying, market is historically flat to slightly down. Wednesday, what did you call it? Hierophant? The guy.
The guy, Hierophant.
Hierophant. Major arcana arriving to bring big energy. So big energy Wednesday. This card prefers structure and tradition. That's a big Mag 7 day, right? That's big earnings day. This card prefers structure and tradition and doesn't put up with any rebellion or behavior that is out of line. This means no traps or tricky setups. Well, yeah. So okay. So if we have good earnings or bad earnings, we should just play the trend then. So maybe some pairs trades, things like that. For some reason, this has led to positive action historically. So we'll hope for that there. At worst, we close out where we started. At worst. Okay. I can get that. If there's a dip to be bought, I think that says looking at some of the earnings plays, maybe post earnings stuff. I'm down with that. Thursday is the moon. More major arcana. Wow. Crypto. I'm not worried about crypto. Strong rally. Does the same thing happen with stocks? We'll see. Historical data says yes. So she's saying maybe Thursday rally, but she doesn't really know. Sometimes the moon card reveals an illusion that can lead to a fading star. Still, I would take this card at face value as a trend card. Did she not just say that she didn't know what was going to happen Thursday? Anyways, we look for a higher low, ride the wave in the direction of this. Is what I'm talking about, man. She's losing. There's a stronger chance of upside than downside, and our weekly theme backs that energy. Be prepared for anything. Okay. Oh, Wednesday, by the way, is also FOMC day. So imagine that. Friday, 7 of Swords. We're back to traps and tricky price action. This is non-farm payroll as a saboteur has snuck into our camp and attempted to lead us astray. Oh, I love that. Not everything is as it seems. So be careful not to get trapped in a bad trade here. Wait for the plot to emerge and then ride that mean reversion out of it. Okay. Yeah. Given that's typical actually of NFP day. Given our weekly card so far, it could have been a bull trap, but we'll see. This card often Bull trap. Oh, okay. This card often finishes negative, but if we've been flirting near the bottom of the range, it could be a bear trap. A bear trap could be just as likely. All right. So that's what I got. Ooh, look at Snow. Sharky's in with me. We'll see. We'll see. What I was gonna say, and I'll take this over here. And this is my view, by the way. Every day I come in the market, I use a 30-minute chart. So SPY, Qs, diamonds, IWM. Just on today's intraday price action, if this is IWM, this is diamond, this is Qs, this is SPY. I mean, the Qs had a big stutter step this morning. IWM only had this morning's single downside candle and really has just kind of like taken off, right? Qs, couple hours, SPY, same, more than a couple hours, and diamonds too. So what I see right now just in this market is that there's a lot more appetite for small cap still. And this kind of goes back to last week's kind of January effect. And also with that theme of, if the market is sideways to down on a biggest earnings week of the year, IWM is still very much exactly where I want to be. So that said, I am very much into this trade. This is not a small trade for me. It's not a short-term trade. I will take this as an average week's range. If we do, let's say at some point, kind of dip down to 193.50, that would be my downside, where I'd really like to pick up some additional shares somewhere in there. It's possible, really, that we get a little bit lower, but I don't see that necessarily happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But upside target short term is still going to be like 204 on IWM. That's for me. That would be within a week's average week's range. Qs here, this orange box is an average week's range. Here's where I am, man, on this box, just as an aside, right? Like, so we are firmly inside a very tight range. I don't think that we get a full week's range. Here's prior all-time high at 479.98. We are toying with this, but I can easily see. So 1, 2, 3. Where are we at? I would just say, do you have a level on SPY, Sharky? Thursday, Wednesday.
For the breakout?
I mean, so here's a level you don't want to see. So what I'm looking for usually when I do this weekly look is, here's a level where if this level fails, then I'm kind of thinking bearish or bullish, or no longer bearish on a weekly perspective. So obviously for us, over 489, you can't be thinking downside typically from a weekly swing, right? At that point, this whole flag, this becomes like a weekly flag that is now kind of broken out, right? We should be thinking upside. Maybe it breaks out like that, but this essentially kind of like flag pattern, if you will. So this is Friday, Thursday. Here's that Wednesday 5-year note right here that we were talking about. And then here's, this is Wednesday's 5-year note, and that stepped in right here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'd be looking at 485 at this point. If this fails, I don't really see any shot of being upside.
Yeah.
Anymore.
I'm looking because last week was interesting. We kind of made two separate, but we had two like separate balance days. So I'm looking for that Monday low. If the Monday low, which was the start of that balance, that's really gonna where the shorts can have an upper hand. But we can still look to, I think, right around that where you said maybe 485, 485.50. That's the last 3 days bottom range. Yeah, right in that. Right in that.
That's right.
I don't have this. Yeah, I don't have that. Right. So if that breaks, that's going to be the first key for me, that if, we can start really thinking about more the short side. The thing is, though, just like you said, we have to break over those highs and look for that retest of the breakout, because one of the things I was looking at or talking about in my recap that I did for free on YouTube is it's a hard long right now, right? I mean, buying the longs at all-time highs. So you're
Yeah.
having a lot of these buyers, they're very uncommittal. Once they see those gains, they're taking them, and that's why we're seeing a lot of those fake breakouts like we saw on Friday, where it tried to peak above that 489 area, but then it was just sold back down.
Yeah.
So that's why we really want to wait for a nice strong confirmation of break over those highs and the retest, like you said. And that's going to give us a little bit more of that better risk reward that we can actually manage. But they're very uncommittal longs right now, and understandably so, right? Because they just don't want to get stuck in a bad sold location.
So what we're talking about is like, this is essentially the flag that we're looking at. And if you just connect your lows from Tuesday rather, and then just the last lows from there, we are kind of like staircasing up into this kind of flag pattern, but we haven't been able to break out. It doesn't mean that we're going to like, get super tight and then, pop like that. I mean, if we do see that, that would be great. It's going to be pretty obvious, and that trigger is going to be over 49. Call it 490, just as an aside. But, until that happens, you might see a little stutter step like this, right? And it almost, if it was Thursday and we had a couple, if it was Thursday, just so you are aware, like what it could look like. If it was Thursday, you might have said this something very similar, that if it was over 488, you could be flying, right? But if you took that, the second that it started to get over, and immediately it looks, okay, were you there? You're there. Is it going to go? And then you got a pretty heavy rejection. So we want to be really careful that this doesn't happen. If you're going to go for a long at the highs, at an all-time high, that we're not completely out of the woods yet, right? Know that it's available. But if it happens, you're going to know, and it's going to be in strength, and it's going to be like, okay, hammer time. In the meantime, this is kind of like your intermediate kind of trend line that you're more or less following here from a swing perspective, if that makes sense. And if you do break down, you're going to break down. It's going to look like this, and you're going to look like a rejection like that. And it's going to be this 50% retrace here first, 486 down to that 485-ish level that we are just talking about. And then you'll probably see a whole nother bounce rejection and then back to this level. And that's probably going to be it. And this is going to be that kind of box that Miss Cleo says, okay, well, we're done for the week. And then we'll probably come back, right? And just be back to where we were and make a giant box and almost to go nowhere. And that would actually be pretty typical, just saying, for a week with this kind of data. Not saying that that's going to happen. Totally happy to see it break out. At the same time, like a breakout could look like this, and then a small fail, like just to kind of mess you up and go nowhere. That's also the same thing, right? So there's lots of trades to be had, no question, but just not necessarily expecting a breakaway this week, if that makes sense. Hopefully that does make sense. Right now, the Q is definitely looking a little bit more constructive. This is that Friday, Thursday, Wednesday breakdown. Monday, Tuesday looking a little bit different. So I think this is what Sharky was talking about. We're a lot closer to that Monday low on the Qs than we were on SPY, like a lot closer. Is this what you're saying, Sharky? I might have lost you. But we're a lot closer to that Monday low on the Qs. This looks like a lot more constructive, to be fair to me. We'll see. We'll see. Don't want to get too excited on anything. But yeah, if this guy could come up, retest, that would be nice. I think we lost your audio, Sharky.
No, I just muted.
Oh. Is that what you're talking about? The difference between the Qs and SPY?
Oh, well, I was looking at it on the weekly.
Oh.
I don't have
weekly.
The last candle, obviously, we just opened a new one. But that weekly, the last weekly candle. Yeah, well, but look at it versus SPY.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's basically the same thing, right? Like, so the SPY, that weekly was a very flat doji on the Qs comparatively, going nowhere candle.
Well, it's those top wicks on that weekly candle to me.
Yeah.
It's like that, they tried to push up and it was just much more of an aggressive sell
Yeah.
just based on the candle.
Yeah. But this IWM and diamonds both looking a lot better. One market that I think is pretty much ripe and ready to go, and this is what I was saying, gold. So I think this is ready for a move, man. I think this is ready for a move. This has been stalling out for quite a while. I'm in GDX, and I really, really like this setup here. Sharky knows how much I like my Triceratops. If you don't know what that is, we like this little bony frill that comes up and makes a big old, yes, if you didn't know, those are my art skills right there. And this comes down and he's a little Triceratops, right? You see him? There he is in all his glory. But this makes a nice little press, which would be, this is a very technical pattern, to something like 31 plus. See how I did that? But no, in all reality, this is a downtrend, kind of like break, pull back, and retest, right? So break, breakthrough, pull back, and I'm retesting the top of this downtrend right now. What I need to see on this one is I need to see the dollar actually break here. And I'm liking this little double top on the dollar with FOMC in focus this week. This is going to be the catalyst that we need. This is TNX. This is a 10-year. Last week was all about watching this guy. We're pushing through the highs. Could not break out, right? So we will find out. This is going to be the week to decide. So far, this is looking like it's going to be a breakdown on the 10-year. But again, Wednesday we do get FOMC rate decision. That's going to be the tell. I don't think that's going to be. They're not going to. I don't think we should change anything, but any speculation should come out of the market and then maybe start to. We'll see. But I think the dollar, at least, even if this goes flat, if the 10-year stays flat here, that's going to be best to me for this mid cap, small to mid cap sector, and probably pull this dollar down. I think crude kind of peaked out right around $80 a barrel. Watching this come down, if the dollar comes down, rates stabilize, that is ideal for my gold miners right here and IWM. So that's actually my two big trades, GDX moving forward and IWM still on deck. And that leaves us with snow for really this like continuation break. I do think PDD continues to the downside. Oh, by the way, we also have Ulta long. This was on, we went through this a couple different ways. Ulta, it was on like the top holdings chart that we had picked out. So this thing, big old kind of flag. This was from post earnings, kind of like big consolidation post earnings, by the way. Finally getting out of the box just now, breaking to the upside. I think this guy's good to go. We got earnings coming up on March 14th. So a lot of time squeeze in on a daily. From a daily perspective, this is just, to me, this is just a very basic earnings kind of follow through. This should take us to about like 520 plus, really looking for something right around 525, give or take, in short order on this basic continuation here. Let's see.
Yeah, they're talking about that right now on Spaces. Beautiful daily breakout.
Yeah, it's a weekly flag out 530. Really was like BMAX upside on an extension. So if we have 515 calls in our group that we sent out last week for this guy. Not through earnings or anything like that, but just on this extension. But yeah, the equity entry was just around 400 on this guy. But yeah, I think this is very basic kind of breakout. If you want a Paris trade, ELF is your Paris trade. It doesn't look like it's getting there yet, but you could kind of put this one on watch. A little bit different, a lot of it different setup here for sure. These guys usually go together. Good thing I didn't take this, I guess. Huh. We'll see if she gets some love. 560 was really the level that you want to see this one break out of. But for now, it's Ulta. She's the best of breed anyways. Ulta is very crystal clear. Very, very crystal clear. So, yeah, 530 is going to be my max. 513.61. I'm going to start taking profits on that one. I think that's a couple first looks. I told you guys about the Disney. Got GDX, PDD. I have. I think we're good, man. You want to add anything, Sharky? I'm losing my voice at the moment. Oh,
more so that actually no, because I hold on. The market's selling off here, and I'm short.
Not gonna do it. Bitcoin actually looked.
Just everybody be careful this week. No reason to be a hero on a week that we're coming into all these earnings and everything like that.
Seriously though, it's very serious. Bitcoin and crypto looked really juiced over the weekend too, by the way. So we had a nice little pop this morning. This is Bitcoin right now, kind of cracking through its 50-day SMA. It can pull back if it see it base here around like 42,750. That would be a good spot. Coinbase had a huge move this morning, pulling back. We had this prior consolidation right in here. Might see. Oh, here's the volume shelf. So 132. It's a big move, man. Big old move. Let her digest. This might be more of a day trader. I had Mara on deck that I was watching too. Man, these things, they just move. 1845 was a spot to watch. These things are so impulsive. It's like you got to snipe it right when it's going. I might watch around 1815, actually. Could be. It's like, where is that higher low going to be? So if this is the last low, 1750, a higher low could be as low as 1816, 1815, right here on Mara, right around that 50-day. So keep that one on watch. Coinbase, very similar. It could pull all of this back, 50% from this morning's move. Is Hole. Where are you at? That is right here, 131. Right there. So we'll see. So impulsive, these things. Just like boom, boom, boom. So hard to swing. All right. Otherwise, Dixie, I like this pullback. TNX looks like it's about to lose its 200. Woo. Crude coming down. I like it. I like it. I like it. Looks good. Big week. Huge week on deck. Yeah. Lots of earnings to go through. Get my mouse back over there. Let me see. And this is the one. So AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet. Yeah, a lot of earnings to go through. I think we're good, Sharky.
I love it when paper says that.
What's that?
Look at big shoddy Scotty.
Look at what?
The comments.
Oh, I'm missing them. Oh, did I miss anything? I bet Pfizer. Oh, jeez. I have no idea.
Best traders in the world.
Best traders in the world.
How you feeling, by the way, bud?
Oh, you hear my voice? It sounds amazing, doesn't it? Best traders in the world. But
all right, brother. Are you gonna come hang out?
Yeah.
You're trading today?
Yeah. Oh, look, we got some Twitch love. Dartman, you rock. Yes.
Twitch.
I checked the GEX dealer cluster SPY possible. Yep. 490. Yeah. So 490, 495. Those are the major gamma levels. Major. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So if you see that 490, we'll probably see that huge straight shot to like a 495. This is wild, right? But that's you'll see it in some serious massive strength. Yeah. Oh, Frankie's in the house. PDD killer. He finally caught one. I hope he caught one. Yep. Oil sector, please. Yeah. So this is what May, I think that the oil sector had a nice run. I'm not inclined to press it. Let me look at one real quick for you. Oh, yeah. So here's Exxon. I think you want to give it a rest for a bit. So a lot of these things, so February 2nd, like Exxon has earnings coming up soon. So these are huge runs. So remember, markets are either running or resting, right, Sharky? Big run, let it rest. Big run, let it rest. CVX, big run, let it rest, right? Oxy, small run. She's clearly old. Somebody get this thing some blue pills. I don't know. Can't get it up. Poor Oxy. Can't get it up. We do have Chevron. Chevron reports on Friday. So yeah, these guys might. They're not gonna. I don't think the oil is gonna move until they start reporting. Sorry, I got off the other side of the screen. So I'm looking.
That's true, and we have the CVX and Exxon. So
yeah, so Chevron does report Friday before the open. I'm looking for Exxon. I don't see it. Probably next week. Phillips 66 Wednesday before the open. Yeah, so I would definitely let these rest. They're not going to move with earnings so close. They had after a big run like that. That's like kind of like your pre-market move, unfortunately. Oh, Friday before the open, Chevron and Exxon both. Hello, sorry. So yeah, I think they're done for right now. So let them rest. And then is Disney going to gap up the next days? You know, look, Disney. I'm not even looking. She gone. Mouse is in the house. She gone. What you want?
yeah,
Something
Disney's
to
very
laugh at.
strong. Disney's got a great trend today and looking pretty good. I haven't looked at the daily or the nice. Is that the daily?
Yeah.
Yeah, just broke out of the
You want to look
daily.
at the
We're back.
weekly? Ooh. He said, ooh, weekly. I'm not already at target. So like well, this fib is not needed anymore. Yeah, so I mean we're basically at this structure break. We're feeling this. This is really where honestly we'll probably be stalling somewhere in here, but I was thinking we stall ideally here. But 100, I know some guys have like 105s, 106s is here. This is where they're really looking 107.20, 107.21. That's the deal. But yeah, I mean, technically speaking, it doesn't get much better looking. This weekly on this lower indicator, that's a squeeze. That is like definition of a squeeze on a weekly. And the daily. The problem is the earnings are on next Wednesday. So between now and then, I would just expect a little bit more grindy. We do have this earnings gap down. It can fill it between now and then. That takes it to 100.04. I mean, if it fills this earnings gap before next Wednesday, that would probably be jumping the gun, to be fair. And I would be taking. Just saying. But it looks like we're firmly in the gap right now. The gap as in this earnings gap. But again, these are fundamental gaps. The question is, do you think Disney is in a better spot or worse spot than it was in May of 2023 from an investment perspective?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, DeSantis is out of the race, right?
So now
He's
he has
out
more
of the
time to
race.
mess with Disney.
Yeah. You never know. Disney it's a bit Mickey Mousey. But this daily candle looks great. So far, so good. Just manage appropriately. Keep the expectations in check. Don't fuck with the mouse. That's what they said, right? I think so.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be, I think, good to stay cautious. If you're going to get into any swings this week, just, reminder, obviously, that, you've got a lot of high beta names releasing. So if you
Yeah.
do, it might not be the best time to get into any positions with any real like size, maybe work into them. But also
Yeah.
remember, I mean, we've all missed 1,000 setups, and there'll be 1,000 more that you're going to miss in your career. So, if it's not the right, and our main goal as traders is being risk managers. So, if you're debating or you even have a question, it's always better to either be extra small that you can work into something, or just to not do anything and wait till the week is over.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that for sure. But don't with the mouse. Did that beep come through? Don't with the mouse. But
That's pretty good.
I will say that's why I do like GDX as a side note. It's not going to get affected by a lot of stuff. It is an FOMC rates play. That's why I like my PDD. You guys know me. I always thought China was a short. Side note. But how do I say? Uh, Also, other side note, February 10th, I believe, is Chinese New Year. So that's the week after next. And I believe we should see all volume drop off of FXI and the Hang Seng and all that. So it might not be over, if that makes sense. If you remember what happens to our indexes, we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, just do your basic due diligence. If you don't know, go into the normal. Oh my goodness, where's my thing? The good old sector spiders and see who's doing good, who's not, right? Discretionary. You can do your little basic sector check, right? Sector check is here. I always like this view. Healthcare looks good. Discretionary. Software for the day. Everything's decent. It's semis that are toppy. Software looks good. This is discretionary XLY. Get a nice little bid from the bottom. China. China large cap. Dump ski. And oil. Look, oil's had a big move. This is oil services. Running. Let it rest. No need to press it. All right, guys. Let's go. Yay. All right, Sharky. We're good. I love you guys. You're a rock. Adios. Peace. You like the new shirt, Sharky? Little papers. Little paper plane. Later. All right, guys. I'll see you out there.